Tonight's swimming lessons are over, and Jason is back. Anyone fancy going on a cruise? We open the movie with the Twin Towers in New York City. And all the scum and the junkies in the street. We start at Crystal Lake with a nice small boat passing by. I didn't know that lake was big enough. We have a couple right off the bat having some sexy time on their boat. Time to drop the anchor so they don't drift. This guy decides to tell his missus about the story of Jason Voorhees. That's a way to get her frisky. But the anchor hits a power line and... we've zapped some life back into our hero, climbing on board with his hands that look as dirty as sewage. But the boyfriend tricks his girlfriend with a hockey mask cosplaying Jason.
Got you good, Susie.
But Jason says, "Thank you very much, I need a new mask."
Do it again?
And I'll never do it again. Come on.
And he grabs the spear gun because he can smell fish. Damn it, got away. But this prick... his organs needed checking. So she's hiding, but Jason ain't no dummy. Scream all you want, bitch. It's fishing time. Next day we're at some old dock with a cruise ship ready to set sail to sea. We meet Rennie and her mum giving each other gifts, being all happy and shit. Now on the water, a small blood-stained boat floats on over. And the deckhand sees it and he just says, "Fuck that off." Rennie and her mum meet up with their Uncle Charles. He is an absolute prick. Actually, he's an absolute fuckhead. The captain and his son, they have a falling out. And Jason decides, hey, I'm catching this ride. Now the new town crazy is the deckhand, and he warns the captain's son.
This voyage is doomed.
Great, not a coronavirus on a freaking ship again. And we set sail. The party on board is cranking. And there's even a music video being filmed on board. But the deck isn't good enough for this rock chick. So the rock chick decides to go to the engine room to get some better footage. But that's Jason's hideout. Rock chick sees Jason and she screams. Crazy deckhand hears the noise, but he does fuck all. Weak as piss, deckhand. Weak as piss. But then rock chick gets her first hit. Straight to number one. Rennie is getting changed in her cabin, and all she hears is sounds of "Mummy, Mummy" coming from the window, but all she sees is visions of a boy drowning. But she'll have none of that. Over in the other cabin, the boys are boxing, and two hot white chicks are watching from above, deciding who they want to have unprotected sex with later. But for now, let's snort some coke.
Wait, this is top dollar too.
Rennie now looking for her dog, she disturbs those two girls snorting coke, and that really pisses them off. Now with Rennie gone and all the coke snorted, Uncle Charles catches them. And it's now established that Uncle Charles is their teacher, and this is a school trip on the boat. Over in the sauna we have one student relaxing. Nothing like getting your chest all hot and steamy. Thinking Rennie narked on one of these hot girls for snorting coke, one of the bitches knocks her into the water.
It was an accident, I swear.
That's actually attempted murder. But saved by good bloke Sean, she'll be fine. Until the crazy deckhand tells them,
Just come back, and you're all gonna die.
crazy deckhand. Now back in her cabin, Rennie is having more visions of baby Jason. Where are these visions coming from? Now over at the Coke Slut's cabin, she's trying to get straight A's with Uncle Charles.
I want to make sure I've labeled all my organs correctly.
But film student nerd catches it all on film.
Did you get anything good?
Yeah, very kinky. Give me that tape. Give it to me.
Come and get it.
Dirty, dirty tactic. So the nerd student, he tries to make a move on the Coke girl, but he's rejected.
Let's be sure to get together later. Okay?
I just thought, maybe we could.
But it seems like he's used to rejection, so he just fucks off. So the Coke slut, she decides to have a shower, and that's a perfect opportunity for our hero to sneak on in. Give me that robe through the door. And after looking at her reflection, here's a close-up mirror shot. Over to the captain's lounge and we get our first mate. And captain. They reach their final destination. But now who's gonna steer that ship? Now Rennie and Sean go up to the captain's lounge and find captain and mate dead at the wheel. Sean makes a mayday call and all the students come running up to see the dead bodies. A crazy deckhand is no help to this situation.
You're all gonna die.
You're insane.
You're the one who's insane.
Rennie decides to drop the anchor, but Uncle Charles is being an absolute dickhead. Now on the lower deck, the other Coke girl has just found the other Coke girl dead, and Jason. Still buzzing from the Coke, she flees to the disco room, only for the biggest party crasher to turn up and crash her party. Ooh, worst come down ever. Now all the students gather all the weapons they can find for the big Jason hunt. And I've got a great idea, let's all split up. Film student nerd decides to go to the engine room. Great choice. Only to find while filming in there, dead bodies and a hockey masked man. He pisses himself and runs like a bitch. Only to meet up with Jason and hey look mum, I can fly. Lucky Jason knows safety first. He's been burnt too many times to want that again. Our next victim tries an axe on Jason, but he ain't having none of that. So he flees up the ladder to get a better view. Nope, the view's not that great. And Jason throws our student boxer Julius overboard. Hope he can swim. Back in Rennie's room, she's standing too close to that window. And bang, we get a classic Voorhees signature move. But the windows are tiny on this boat, and Rennie thinks quick. Sean comes to rescue Rennie, but he has an explosion in the power room. This boat is doomed. With the boat now flooding, everyone needs to get off this shit. Now while everyone's trying to flee, crazy deckhand strolls on in with an axe in his back. Should have taken his own advice and fucked off in the beginning. With all the survivors on the lifeboat, even Julius, who was thrown into the water, he survived. Now it's just a quick row to New York City and everything should be fine. Rowing all through the night, on open waters, we finally see in the distance a beautiful New York City.
New York, New York.
Unfortunately for them, Jason learnt to swim over all these years. Welcome to the big city, Jason. You're famous. Remember those junkies from the opening credits? Well, they jump all the survivors and take all their shit. And taking Rennie hostage, the two junkies, they piss off.
Follow us, we blow our fucking head off. Comprende?
Good work, guys. Great work trying to stop them. Now, before these junkies try an attempted rape on Rennie, they shoot her up with some New York City's finest gear. But Jason doesn't like drugs. That's an instant overdose. Now the other junkie, he empties his gun on Jason. But Jason doesn't give a fuck about bullets.
Shit.
Now that's using your head. Now on the rooftop, and Julius meets up with Jason for a one-on-one boxing match. And Julius has him in the corner. Is there any coming back from our hero? Julius has him. Julius has this win. Julius has this win. Is there any coming back from the opponent? We have a knockout, folks. We have a knockout and a comeback. Now Rennie is high as fuck from that gear, but Sean would look after her. And Uncle Charles, he's found a cop, so everything's gonna be fine now. Calling all units. Yeah, no one's coming. So high as fuck, Rennie jumps in the cop car and speeds off. And the car blows up with Mum in it. Damn it, she was nice, man. But you just killed your mum from being high. At this stage, I'm really hanging for Uncle to die. And then we get a flashback of when Rennie was a kid on the lake, Crystal Lake, with Uncle Charles. Him teaching her to swim. But the asshole throws her in the water and watches her struggle. Ah, and she met Jason before. Back from that flashback, and Rennie is filthy angry with Uncle Charles. So they fuck off and they leave Uncle. Uncle all alone, he sees Jason. And he goes for a swim in a New York City swimming facility. Free rats and green water every swim. Only in New York. Back to Sean and Rennie. Sean's now making moves on Rennie. But they see Jason all pissed off following him. And they piss bolt and get on the New York City subway. But Jason buys a ticket and joins them for that trip. And Jason, not giving a fuck about all these potential kills on the train, he just wants to follow Sean and Rennie. Now, after pulling the emergency brake and getting fined $100 for misuse, he's not paying him no ticket. Rennie pushes Jason on the tracks to end Jason once and for all. Now enter New York City. How peaceful and lovely. Oh no, there's Jason. Now Jason, not being a fan of rap, boomboxes can just fuck off. But these guys are tough as fuck until they see Jason's pretty face.
Yo, man, it's cool. It's cool, man. It's cool.
Now at the local diner, these guys just want to use a local phone to call the local police. But Jason has a no-door policy. Fuck that. And the big chief ain't having none of this. But he gets made piss. And Jason's just letting a lot of future kills just leave. Weak Jason, you've changed. After sneaking out the back, they decide to climb down the perfectly clean sewers. I'd personally stay in the public and go to all the police stations and all the police around, personally. But that's just me. Now the sewer worker finds them down there and tells them, hey, you gotta get out of here before all the toxic waste gets released. So he helps them find a way out. But Jason catches up. And your shift is over, pal. Now Sean gets knocked out and Jason makes the chase for Rennie. And with no gloves on to protect her hands, and not spilling one drop on herself, Jason has a toxic makeover. And just before the toxic river flows, Rennie and Sean climb to the top and watch Jason sizzle away. And just like Pinocchio, Jason turns into a real boy. And we see the hockey mask float off and Jason's a real boy again. Fuck me. And Rennie and Sean are safe. And Fluffy survived too. It's a big happy ending. The end. Now for all the questions we want answered. The question I want to know is, how many years has it been since part 7? I'm not quite sure how long he's been down, chained up again. The second time he's been chained down and just getting all this dirty algae on him and rotting away in the water. Now how was Julius's head in the cop car? Didn't it fall into the bin? What's up with that? How long did it take to row to New York City? Because you couldn't see New York City in the distance, so that would have taken a long time. That would have been days. Maybe Jason was underneath fucking paddling and kicking as the motor. How come no one in New York City gave a fuck about a guy walking around with a hockey mask and a machete? What's up with that? How did Rennie not burn her hands from that toxic waste? I'm not even gonna go there. Who wrote that bit? Who wrote that bit? Did Jason really turn into a young boy again? Or is it one of her visions? Was it a vision? Is he a little boy again? Or is he still a zombie that's now toxic mutated? He could join the Toxic Crusaders. The Toxic Avenger. Is Jason Toxic Avenger? This one gets 5 out of 10 hockey masks. Unfortunately. It was way better than part 7's 5 out of 10. More entertaining, but very, very stupid. It was kind of actually good having him away from Crystal Lake for once. A little bit different. It was pretty cool. He's on the cruise and that. But it was a bit silly. I heard a rumor on a podcast I listened to once that said that wasn't even filmed in New York City. Never been to America, so I wouldn't know. I'm just an Aussie boy. I don't know, you tell me in the comments. Was it not filmed in New York City? Anyway, the 80s music in it is so good. Love 80s music. They kicked ass there. But the ending fucking sucked, man. That ending was horrible where he turned into a little boy. That was some Pinocchio bullshit right there. So, that puts the ladder like this. We've got number 5 on the bottom, that got 4 out of 10. Part 7 and Part 8 both get 5 out of 10, but Part 8 was just that slight bit better because they weren't at Crystal Lake and there was no telekinesis bullshit. Part 2, 3 and 4, they all get 6 out of 10 for me because they were classic horrors. They were classic slashers and I really enjoyed them. Few faults, but they were pretty perfect. Then Part 1 and Part 6 both get 7 out of 10, but 7 is just that slightly... But Part 6 is just slightly better. But they both get definitely a 7 out of 10. Still love my number 1. One of my all-time favourite movies, personally, because it was the beginning. Alright guys, click like, subscribe, do what the fuck you want to do, but it always helps. I'll be back next week with Friday the 13th, Part 9, Jason Goes to Hell. Is this the final end of Jason? Let's review it. Retro Reviews. Blood Popcorn. Subscribe. See you!